Think back to the last time you had an issue with technology. Now, think, how long did it take you to turn the device off and back on again? As the resident tech nerd for my family and friends, I'm constantly reminding people of this small but helpful tidbit while helping them through a wide array of technology mishaps. Is Gmail not working? It's no problem. Printer jammed? I could fix it with my hands tied behind my back. For example, I must have reset my grandparents' Apple password at least 10 times. Every time I see them, the password they have written down is incorrect, and the only solution is to reset it again. Helping people, like my grandpa, has certainly improved my patience. It took me a long time to realize that teaching somebody is not merely taking their device away and solving the problem for them, even if you do tell them what you're doing. If a student is going to truly remember how to do something, you have to give them clearly defined steps. For a while, I had an application installed on my grandpa's computer. It let me take it over and solve problems myself. He started calling with increasing frequency until I realized that I had to teach him how to do things on his own. This was a realization I came to likely because the application started asking for money. To be sure, not all of my experiences with technology have been about helping others. A great deal of the problems that I handle are self-inflicted. So it's partly narcissistic when I do beta or stability testing for major companies. These do come with their own host of problems, however. Because of a beta test for Apple, I recently had to delete my entire computer and restore it from a backup, a painstaking process that can take hours. The realization that I can learn life lessons from my mistakes with technology is one of the reasons that I love it. In recent years, I've become interested in wiring computer components. For instance, integrating home electronics with circuits and creating games with physical buttons that I've wired and programmed. This was a development that my mom was none too happy about, and I could not understand why until one day I was trying to make a lamp that would turn on simply by touch, no buttons needed. Apparently, this was more difficult than I expected, as I promptly received multiple mild electric shocks. It was my first potentially dangerous experience with technology, and I jumped back and started cursing in frustration. Luckily, I was okay. It obviously was not a dangerous level of electricity. And from the experience, I did glean 2 serious lessons. The first was that my mother was right and I was wrong. Something no 14-year-old is very happy to realize, despite the fact that it was a realization that was continued throughout my high school years. The second was how to handle myself in stressful situations. It's lucky that the short did not catch on fire as they sometimes do, because I was not prepared to handle that. But because of this experience, sometime later when my TV spontaneously combusted, I did know how to react. I ran straight to my parents' room. Actually, before I did this, I turned the TV off, a move that possibly saved our house, but not from the smell of burning silicon, which is deeply imprinted in my memory. My experiences with code and troubleshooting have also improved my problem-solving skills. While obviously, yes, both do require a great deal of knowledge, I would argue that they require more logic. After all, computer science is essentially just a practical field of applied math. After my year in AP Computer Science, I cannot tell you how much my problem-solving skills have improved. Similarly, most problems with hardware can be solved in one of 2 ways: wiggling around in the settings, or as I said earlier, turning the device off and back on again. It's amusing, especially considering how much I've learned about interpersonal relationships, that tech nerds are often antisocial. Technology, when used in the right way, can be a useful vehicle for learning how to interact with people. We all know that technology is great when it works, and when it doesn't, it has the opportunity to teach us about ourselves. Thank you.